Episode 9 of House of the Dragon shook the ground both figuratively and literally. And I'm here to talk about some of my favorite moments in the show. King Viserys the Peaceful is dead. There's a bunch of alive people trying to exploit it. A man dies. Secrets are exchanged. The secrets around secrets are revealed. Queen Alicent exploits her OnlyFans to learn more information. A future queen has been undermined. A new king is crowned, and a dragon crashes the party. Are you ready? This episode was fantastic. It was littered with really, really great moments. And another reason why this whole series has just been spectacular start to finish. But before we get into that, please think about subscribing to the channel if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out. Hit the notification bell to be informed every time we drop a new video. It's been multiple times a week recently, with a couple of live streams sprinkled in. Of course, like the videos when you enjoy them, share them with your friends, and leave a comment. Keep the discussion going. I'd really like to know who you're rooting for in this series. I don't even know anymore. It's really hard for me, but I would love to hear who you are rooting for. But back to the topic at hand. Episode 9 was amazing. Unfortunately, King Viserys the Peaceful has passed on, has succumbed to his essentially leprosy, and in his dying moments told his queen about the prince that was promised, which was not really for her now, was it? But this now sets in motion something that will shake the very foundation of all of this, because Rhaenyra is due to take the throne when Viserys dies. But since Alicent has now heard the prophecy, she believes that Aegon is the rightful heir to the throne. This, of course, becomes problematic for many people. But I don't want to get into a full recap of this episode, because while it was great, there was a couple of moments that really stood out to me as a reason why this show is just great. And one of those moments is a line right here.
We do not rule, but we may guide the men that do. Gently, away from violence and sure destruction, and instead toward peace.
And in this moment, Queen Alicent talks with Princess Rhaenys about the role of women in this world. And there was a lot of people that were talking about this show and how it was going to try and force some woke agenda and talk about how it's going to elevate women way beyond men and it's going to disparage them at every turn. We haven't really seen that. And this is a line that really stuck out to me. It stuck out for me in two ways. One is that I believe her that she wants to be the person that pushes men towards peace. She doesn't want to rule. She wants to be there as a guiding light for the strong men in her life, her boys, and of course, her late husband. But the irony here is that Alicent has been involved in a lot of things that has really sort of pushed this world to where it is now, starting when she was a younger girl and she accepted Viserys' hand in marriage. I just thought overall this moment was really powerful because Princess Rhaenys is someone who has been back and forth on her place in the kingdom, her getting passed over as the rightful heir to the throne. But because she's a woman, she couldn't accept that. And then in the previous episode, being approached by Rhaenyra and being mixed up in their politics. She has been pulled back and forth her whole entire life, and it was just a breaking point for her. This was a moment where she could have gone one of two ways, and you didn't know in the moment where she was going. The second scene that really was starting to pull this series together for me was between Alicent and her father, the Hand of the King, Otto Hightower. So prior to this scene, Alicent and her father were trying to track down Aegon, her son, because he is now supposed to be the successor to King Viserys. But they both have their own motivations as to why they want to talk to Aegon before he takes the throne. And it's during this scene that Otto says something that's said a lot during the Game of Thrones, that the king needs to be able to get his hands dirty, essentially, that we need to sometimes sacrifice lives for the greater good. And Alicent doesn't like this. She doesn't believe that that is the best course of action to take, which again is ironic because of her involvement with Larry Strong. In a previous episode, she was involved with him on getting certain details ironed out, if you will. And we've come to realize that Lord Larry Strong is more of a Littlefinger kind of player who doesn't really have an imposing figure overall, but is really good behind the scenes, manipulating people to do his bidding. It was just another scene that really illustrates how well this show does a tug of war with what a character wants and what they actually do. This makes for very good writing. We are told that a character is to do one thing. they do another. It is a tug of war of the moral ambiguity of your actions and how we reconcile that as an audience and how the character reconciles that. And just the overall world building in this episode and how information is disseminated and how in this world information does not travel very fast. House of the Dragon's been a very big breath of fresh air in the light of Rings of Power and all of the Marvel shows that have been coming out recently. I'm really impressed with how this show continues to move on, and I'm really interested to hear what you guys thought of episode 9. I'm really excited for the finale next week when we really get some more spicy details on what the war is going to look like to come, because you know war is coming.